Yes, yes. Welcome once again, my beautiful winners. Man, it's a funny one. I'm here to talk about the thing that's taking up a lot of airtime on the news, a thing that's probably on a lot of people's minds, probably more so ethnic minorities' minds in the UK. But, you know, it's probably on everybody's minds in some sort of capacity. And I'm talking about the recent riots, the far right riots. Say that 3 times fast. Yeah, the far right riots that are going on. Man, oh man, I just got back from LA not too long ago. Well, like a day ago, a couple of days ago. It's all been a bit of a blur. I got to do some work over there and had a great time. And I was getting ready to come back and talk about how nice it was to be out there in Beverly Hills and experience such great things and working out there and the break that I had. And also, though, how happy I was to be home, only to come back to see that. I don't know, it's like Armageddon started over here. Yeah. So I just want to talk a little bit about that. There's been so many instances and incidents this week alone, you know, that it really, really takes you back, especially as a black person. I don't really call myself a minority because I'm only a minority here, but generally speaking, if you look at the whole world, I'm actually not a minority technically. So yeah, but like it takes you back to the 70s and 60s. When people came over from the Caribbean, then it takes you back to like the 80s when you had a lot of Asian people coming over as well. And there was a lot of hate towards them, and the 90s when a lot more Africans came over as well, and there was loads and tons of hate towards them. And you'd hear people say, "Oh, it's 2024, things have changed, racism doesn't exist." Well, I've I've known for a fact that it didn't go anywhere, but I think people get lulled into a false sense of security. I mean, let's talk about 2020. 2020 was just a few years ago, but people seem to forget so quickly. I think people want to forget, and part of me doesn't blame them. You know, people don't want to be thinking about how bad things are because of their race. They want to be thinking about how they can make progress and have some fun. Human beings run towards pleasure and away from pain, and I can see how it can be painful to think about these things in their actual 3D reality. But I'm a realist, and I want people to know what's really going on. And yeah, here's my 10 cents on this, man. It doesn't make me happy to talk about it, but here it is. Now, all of this race baiting and riots and attacks, and we'll get more into the attacks in a little bit. There's so many reasons that a far right person, I'm just going to refer to them as racists. there's so many excuses that a racist person will give you as to why these are happening right now, and as to why they're doing these things or supporting these things right now. They might bring up the incident, which is very unfortunate, and I don't condone at all. This is recent. I think 3 girls were attacked by a 17-year-old boy, or 3 women. I think it was women/girls were attacked by a 17-year-old, and they lost their lives. Now, I would like to just say 3 girls and a boy, but we have to bring the race component in because then it starts to make a little more sense. All right, 3 white girls/women. I'm not 100% sure of the ages, and a 17-year-old black boy. And since that story came out, since that story broke, there has been an unrest. There has been a groundswelling of UK Englishmen, English residents, not just men, women too. And things have gotten dangerous for people of other races, not just black people, but Asians, and anything in between, anything that is non-white, basically. It has anyone with slightly darker skin. And they'll use that as an excuse, and they'll say they're just upset that 3 innocent females' lives were taken. And although there's no excuse for looting, attacking people, and riots, I could actually say, all right, fair enough, if that was the case. But here's the thing. You can parallel that with what happened just a little bit earlier in the year, where a black child, so we're not talking about teenagers here, we're talking about a child, was murdered in cold blood by an adult white male, which is, you know, this isn't the Pain Olympics, but this is a child being murdered by a grown man. And there were no riots, and I'll tell you why. You could probably figure it out for yourself. Small black child killed by a grown white man. White girl's murdered by a black boy. Riots. I'm gonna say that again. White girl's murdered by a black boy. Riots. The whole world turns upside down, or at least the whole of the UK. Small black child murdered by adult white male. Gets a slight mention in the newspaper. Slight mention for a couple of days. And you know what? I was really unhappy with how they handled that as well, because they didn't really handle it properly. They called the young black child that was murdered, they called him Sword Lad, which, if you don't really know, if you hadn't heard about the story through social media and you were just looking at the tabloid, you wouldn't even know what that means. What does Sword Lad mean? I'm gonna start talking about that, because that really actually peed me off, to be honest. Yeah, so there's that. That's one excuse they're gonna give you as to why the whole of the UK is turned upside down, and why there's so many far right race riots planned. In fact, I'm just looking at something online right now, and it says police, and this is today, it says police are now aware of over 100 planned far right race riots across the UK tonight. Over 100. Here's another reason that they're probably going to give you. They're going to say immigration. And I was actually going to show some clips, but I wasn't sure if I could show all these different clips on this video. So I thought, you know, I'll just tell you. But if I do a part 2, I might include some clips from Instagram, some from TikTok, some from YouTube. I mean, there's no shortage of clips of racist right-wiggers spewing garbage excuses as to why they're doing what they're doing. There was a guy saying that they come over and take our jobs. It's the classic. They come over and they take our jobs. When in all reality, you know, immigrants that come over who are just searching for a better life, they come over and they most of the time they're doing jobs that white people wouldn't want to do. They're doing jobs that English people do not want to do in this country. What, are you going to go and clean toilets as someone that was born here? Most people that are born here do not want to do stuff like that. They don't want to wait tables. They don't want to do the hard labor stuff. They don't want to do demeaning roles. I actually saw a short clip, and there was a guy, a white guy, and he was like, the reason we're doing this is because they come over and take our jobs. And then the interviewer was like, oh, what, do you find it hard to get a job over here? And he was like, yeah. The interviewer was a female. She was like, well, what do they tell you when you try to apply to jobs? And he said, well, I don't really make it very far because I have a criminal record. And the interviewer kind of just stopped it there, because I mean, what more is there to say? The reason he's not getting jobs is not because of immigration or immigrants coming over taking the jobs. He's got a criminal record for assault. I'm sure a lot of you have seen that clip. If you want me to post that clip, I can do so. Just put something in the comment section saying, oh, you want to see the clip, and I'll put it up as well. All right. And if there's any clips that you want to see or you want me to like talk about in particular, put something in the comment section below. And also give this video a like, because it's very important that people talk about this. It's very important that people hear about this. It's very important that light is shone on why this is happening, because it's hard to fix a situation before you know that it exists, one, and before you know why it may be happening too. All right. So give me a like, give me a follow if you want to keep up to date with this and loads of other stuff as well. And yeah, subscribe. Yeah. So anyway, God, people are being attacked all over the UK. Their companies and businesses are being destroyed. Businesses of non-white people, basically. It doesn't even matter if they're actually immigrants or not. There was a African barber, and I say African barber, I don't know if he's actually, he might have been born here. He just happens to be, his parents are from Africa, and he's happy to show that. And he owns a black barbers in Ireland, and in Ireland, so it's not just like England, in Ireland they destroyed his barbershop. You know, there's Asian people being attacked. It's all over Instagram. I saw, I think it was even in Hull or somewhere else, Nottingham, a black guy was attacked by like loads of white guys. It's dangerous out there, you know. I've had friends message me like just saying, "Oh, be careful." I've messaged friends saying, "Be careful." Even and I'm here in London, you know. It was said there was going to be some sort of far right protest, which usually results in violence. That was supposed to happen in Walthamstow, didn't quite happen. We've got anti-fascist protesters that are going out, holding it down. I respect it. I do respect it. But I mean, these rioters are insidious, and you know, when they know that anti-fascist protesters are going to be there, they'll either turn up or a few people will turn up, or they'll just go somewhere else as soon as they find out that people are onto them. And I don't know when this is going to stop. It will probably die down in a few, well, I hope it dies down in a few days, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good, you know. But what the overarching message I want to give is, I want people to stay strong. I don't want people to live in fear because of this. I want people to be aware, which is why I'm doing this video. But I don't want people to live in fear, because at their very core, these racists are weak. They're only strong in numbers. They're only strong in numbers. They're weak. None of them have the balls, you know. That's why they look for opportunities to do this stuff. Do you think they really care about jobs? That's not why they're doing this. They just don't want non-black people in their country. Sorry, they just don't want non-white people, rather, in their country. And they're jealous that people from other parts of the world can come here and make something of themselves, whereas they're too lazy to push themselves to do something. And so when they see other people thriving, they want to burn it down. They literally want to burn it down. They've literally been burning down businesses. It's disgusting and it's unacceptable. All right. And yeah, you know, if you pull one of these guys aside, one of these like far right extremists aside, I'm going to start, I mean, they're terrorists essentially. But if you was to pull one of them aside as a black person, the common answer they'll give you is, they'll be like, "Oh, you're not so bad. It's the Muslims that come over and do this." And if a Muslim pulls them over, they'll be like, "Oh no, you're not so bad. It's the extremists, or it's the blacks that are doing this." They're scared. They never want to give a straight answer. But in reality, what they're doing is they're indiscriminately attacking anyone that isn't white. let me make that more clear, because they're not. I can't say that they're attacking, like, you know, East Asian people. They're attacking South Asian people, anyone that could be classed as Arab, Indian, Pakistani, and black. That's what they're going for. Anyone with a darker skin tone, that's what they're really going for. It's funny how they don't talk about Ukrainian, all the Ukrainians coming over, or all the other white passing people that come over as immigrants. That's something to think about. They never really talk about those ones, you know. So what does that say about them? It all boils down to racism. Yeah, it's just, I just want everyone to be careful. Don't get caught up in this. Be very vigilant. Look out for loved ones. And that's one of the main things that spurred me to make this video as well. You know, I'm the sort of person, I worry about my loved ones already. I worry about people that are close to me already. And the way they're attacking people indiscriminately, they don't care if you're old, if you're young, if you're a child, if you're an elderly person, anything in between. They don't care if you're male. They don't care if you're a female. You know? And I'm less worried about myself. I'm not really worried about myself. I can handle myself. You know, I'm not saying I'm Superman, but I can handle myself. I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about my loved ones. And the truth is, the reality is, you can't be everywhere at once. You can't protect everyone you love at once. They've got their lives. You've got your lives. You've got things to do. They're going to be wherever they are in the world. You're going to be wherever you are in the world. So the stress of that is just, man, I don't even want to think about it. But I just want to put some love out there, and I want to say, we need unity. And I want to talk directly to people of color. I want to talk directly to black people now. You know, and I want to talk to Muslims on a bigger level. People of color, you listen, there are a lot of similarities, and there are a lot of pains that we feel, and there are a lot of injustices happening to us. And for that reason, as minorities, we need to stick together. And even on a more micro level, just to black people, you know, I think yesterday I was at the gym, and I noticed that more black males were like giving me little nods and just acknowledging me more than usual. And I realized it's because that we all knew what that acknowledgement meant. We have to have each other's backs. We have to have each other's backs. It's very important, because we are all we have in this world, you know, and numbers are important, and we need to help each other. And I'm just going to put it that way. And that's something to think about, all right? But yes, peace and love. Comment. Let me know what you think down there in the comments section. If you've got anything that you want to add, or if there's anything you're not sure about, or any questions you want to ask, or even if you have a difference of opinion, chime in down below. If you want to see more of me talking about stuff going on in the world, more of me talking about stuff, how to improve yourself, personal development, give me a follow, give me a subscribe. Yes, it's quite saddening and disheartening that this is happening, but we are strong, we are powerful, and we will survive. All right? Be vigilant, be on guard. Beautiful winners.